As we come to the end of this series, I want us to look at the very last half of our key verse, Isaiah 61:3. It says, "To appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness." And then it says, "that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he might be glorified." And so as we dive into this term, trees of righteousness, I was looking into it, and it can also be translated as oaks of righteousness. And so I did a little bit of research on oaks and what kind of tree they are, and they actually paint a really beautiful picture of what God was trying to express. Oaks are actually really hardy trees with a deep system of roots anchoring them securely so that they can withstand many seasons of hardship and storm. And so I think this is such a beautiful picture because God chose this big tree that has these deep roots that is able to withstand storms and hard things that may come its way. And that is exactly what this entire series has been talking about. How when we are rooted in the Lord and how when we are looking to Him and abiding in Him, we can be able to withstand even the darkest seasons that this life may offer. And so this is also reminiscent of Psalm 1, this picture of a tree. And so as we look at Psalm 1 through 3 says, "Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper." And so as we look at this passage, it's so cool because as we begin to see this picture of what a tree of righteousness looks like, we see that he does not walk in the counsel of the ungodly. And so what this is saying is that he's not even walking amidst the advice and the wisdom of ungodly people. And then we see that he's not standing in the way of sinners, so he's not standing in the path where he knows ungodly people will be going. And then finally we see that he also is not sitting in the seat of the scornful. And so he's not making himself comfortable in sin, and he's not getting relaxed in sinful things. And then we also see that he shall be like a tree planted by the streams of water. And I think this is such a beautiful picture because we've been talking about abiding, and we've been talking about how we are supposed to continue in a place. And this is the place that we're supposed to continue in His Word, and planted by the stream of water. The Bible doesn't say he is like a tree planted in the middle of a field, because it could have just said that he is just a tree. But he is planted by streams of water, by a river of water. And it's so beautiful to think of that is what God wants for us, that He wants us to be close to Him, because He is the living water of our lives. Through looking at what this tree of righteousness looks like, we can see that God calls us as trees of righteousness to delight in His Word, to root our lives in the truth of what His Word says, to read it, to study it, and believe it, and to understand that it is life-giving truth and not just simply a box to check. So plant yourself by the rivers of water and abide there. Just continue in that place. That is the simplicity and the sweetness of the Christian walk. I truly believe that God can use a group or even one teenage girl to spark a revival in her school or in her family or her community or her church. Do not allow the enemy to convince you to stay in the dark place of silence and defeat, because that is not where the Lord wants you to be. I hope that you can now see that after everything that we've looked at and after all of the struggles that we've explored and understood, that God has brought beauty from ashes in your life so that you may experience the abundant life of being a deeply rooted and beautiful tree of righteousness, so that all can glorify Him through you. Friends, God is just waiting for you to step into this life so that you may experience and see with your own eyes beauty from ashes.